Today, we're going to talk about osteoporosis and its connection to autoimmune disease. So let's dive in. Hello, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to talk about. And that is osteoporosis. See, the thing is, I love to talk about health with everyone I know. My goal is to help people find the missing pieces of the puzzle to complete their picture of vibrant health. And so in chatting with a friend, she asked me, "What do you know about osteoporosis?" And my answer was, nothing yet. And so of course, I then had to take a deep dive in to learn about osteoporosis. And the surprising fact that I learned was its connection with autoimmune disease. So first, let's talk about what is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the process by which bone breaks down faster than it can be repaired. So our bones inside are porous, they have little holes. But over time, when it's breaking down faster than it can be repaired, those holes become larger and the inside of the bone starts to look a bit like a honeycomb. And often with osteoporosis, there are no signs or symptoms until there is a break or fracture. And so it's often called the silent disease. As they learn more and more about the causes of osteoporosis, they realize that it is tied to chronic inflammation. Meaning, if you have an autoimmune disease with chronic inflammation, you have a much higher increased risk of developing osteoporosis over time. Now, while osteoporosis can impact men and women, it is 4 times more likely to occur in women. And you have a higher risk of having osteoporosis after menopause, which tells us that our hormones play a significant role in the rebuilding of our bones. Some of the early warning signs of osteoporosis include receding gums, weakened grip strength, and brittle fingernails. Some of the perhaps more obvious signs can be chronic lower back pain, having a stooped or hunched posture, and losing height. So if you shrink an inch or more in height, that can be a sign of osteoporosis. Sometimes shortness of breath can also be a sign of osteoporosis, as having the discs in our spine compress means that we have a smaller lung capacity for breathing. Now, of course, if you have an autoimmune disease and you take steroids, one of the side effects of steroids is a decrease in bone density, which puts you at an even higher risk for developing osteoporosis. So again, what can we do? What can we do to avoid it or reverse it or improve our chances of not developing osteoporosis at all? One of the first things that I would say would be to get some blood work done with your doctor. Ask them to check your hormone levels, especially estrogen, your vitamin D levels, your calcium levels, your phosphorus levels, and your vitamin K. These are key components to building bone. And if any of these are low, then we know that this is going to increase your risk of developing osteoporosis or having symptoms worsen quicker. Obviously, if any of these are low, then you can begin to supplement with those vitamins and nutrients to ensure that you're getting enough to keep your bones healthy. Supplementing with magnesium is another great thing to keep our bones healthy, as magnesium helps our bones to break down and absorb calcium, and also to help us break down and absorb the calcium in our foods. And of course, as I said in a previous episode, taking vitamin D supplements every day is a great idea. And ideally, you want to take vitamin D3, and if you can get one that has a K2 in it as well, then you're ensuring that your vitamin D and your vitamin K levels are where they should be for optimal health and bone health. If you do find that your bone density is low and you want to improve that, whether you have an official diagnosis of osteoporosis or are watching and wanting to be sure that you don't develop osteoporosis, strontium is another great supplement that you can take. And the recommended dose is around 680 milligrams a day. Strontium is a metallic element that is found in seawater and in nutrient-rich soil, and it helps to increase bone density. And ideally, for bone health and overall health, you want to reduce your intake of sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. And if you are taking supplements or foods that include calcium, magnesium, and other vitamins, vitamin D or K, you want to take them away from caffeine, alcohol, and high sugar foods, because caffeine, alcohol, and sugars decrease our bone density or aid in the inflammation that causes us to lose bone density. Some of the foods and things that you can eat to help support bone health include yogurt for the calcium, sea vegetables like algae and nori, high alkaline foods such as green veggies, herbs, and spices, and foods that are high in manganese. Manganese is important in the formation of bone, and it helps to balance your hormones naturally. So if you have imbalanced hormones and that is creating a deficiency in your ability to make new bone, then foods high in manganese will help you to rebalance that naturally. So the great thing about all these tips to improve or to keep healthy bones is the reality is that they also help us with our overall health. So what's good for our bones is good for our body. After the age of about 35, we start to make less bone than we use. And so that is when that decline naturally starts to happen. So I recommend talking to your doctor, certainly after the age of 40, to get your bone density checked somewhat regularly. Don't wait for symptoms, as usually by the time we have symptoms, we have lost a fair amount of our bone density. And of course, the further along it is, the harder it is to reverse. Not impossible, but just harder. That's it for today. Make sure to keep your bones healthy. And until next time, stay healthy.